Hello. In this photo coaching video, I'm going to be analysing 10 photographs from the British Open 2017 men's final with one sort of funny photograph at the end. The theme is going to be adaptability. Now in the past, each photo coaching video was for one video which we analysed very carefully. This one is going to be more of a general idea. So if that's of interest, stay tuned. Okay then, so let's get started, and what we can see here is we can see that Grégory Gaultier has just hit a shot and Matthew is about to respond. First thing that I want you to notice is I want you to look at his head. He's looking up, but he's not moving his head, so his head's quite still. It's in a similar to position where his head would be when he made contact with the ball, but he's using his eyes. Grégory Gaultier is fantastic about keeping his head in the right place. And we're going to talk more about a little bit about that later. In addition, you can see that his racket is still cocked. He hasn't broken his wrist, and Matthew is just about to move across. One can assume that this was a cross court and it's moving into the other side of the court. So the key here is head still. And the next photo. Next photo here, we've got Nick just about to volley the ball, and what's beautiful about this particular shot is that his positioning is just right. He's turned his shoulders, he's got his arm back, he's got his left hand balancing him, and he's just about to make contact, of course. And again, look where his head is. His head is facing that ball. Now Gregory looks like he's looking at the front wall. I mean, sometimes the angle of these things doesn't always show you exactly where everybody is, and of course the ball's moving so quickly. His racket's down, and these videos are not about complaining about or criticizing what the players do, just like highlighting what happens, that in real matches your racket does come down and you don't look always in the right place. But here the focus is on Nick Matthew and his balance and his preparation. Absolutely fantastic. Now here he's made contact. Now I don't think it's the same shot, but again, look at that head. That head is still. I cannot emphasize that enough. His racket is on the follow through, so he's not looking up as he's hitting and then moving across. He's beautifully balanced. Grégory Gaultier is looking as though he's coming back down the wall. It looks like he's moving to his left side. He's got one foot on the ground, pushing himself off. He's watching where the ball is, but the focus on this particular video is Nick Matthews' head at just after the point of contact and his cocked wrist in the follow through. Next picture. All right, this is a perfectly timed image here. So Nick is making contact with the ball. First thing that you'll notice is that he's stretching. He's out as far as he can. He doesn't want to get too close to the ball. That's wasted effort. You'll also notice that he's using technically the wrong foot, but that's what the introduction was about adaptability. Sometimes you don't have time to get on the right foot. You're here, you just reach across. But he's balanced. His left foot in this case has got most of the weight. His right foot is there to help him balance. He's got his left hand out because he's making contact. Look at that. I mean, you can't see it very well, but you can see it in the photograph. It's almost in the sweet spot. It's not quite, but again, that's not a criticism. I mean, this is the final here. He's under a lot of pressure. He's got very firm grip, very firm wrist. You can see all of the muscles in his forearm. And again, his head. He's watching the ball hit the string. Now, what's Gregory doing? Well, Gregory is trying to look at the racket face. He's trying to look at the racket head because the racket head will tell him where Nick is going to hit the ball. And he's just about to move forward. He's probably bouncing. Again, he's got his racket down, but when you're Grégory Gaultier and you can move, that's fine. Club players should be trying to keep the ball a little bit higher. The racket a bit higher, sorry. All right, next shot. Almost a recreation of what we've seen just now. We've got Nick Matthews stretching to reach the ball. He's on the wrong foot, but he's got most of his weight on his left foot. The right foot here is balancing him. But look at his position of his racket. It's a straight line. That means that he can get maximum reach. This has probably come from a volley that Gregory has just played, and he's reaching. He's got his racket underneath. This is either going to be a drop or it's going to be a high shot down the wall. What is it he's looking at? He's looking at the ball making contact. And again, Gregory is just about to bounce, going to whatever position he feels the ball's going. Probably back down the wall, possibly even far forward. All right, now we're back onto Gregory here. He's quite close when he's hit this ball. Notice that right leg is quite straight. That happens quite a lot. Happens to me a lot. When you're a little bit close to the ball, but you can't always control that. But he's balanced. Look at his head. His head is turned, but he's not looking. He uses his eyes really well. He keeps his head still, but uses his eyes. Notice the forearm and the grip. He's got a right angle. He's cocked his wrist and he's balanced again. Looks like he's played a shot down the wall. Matthew is totally focused on that ball. He's got his racket quite high. He's about to move to the left. He's going to do his best to intercept it. But this is a shot that's gone down the wall and is going to be pushing Matthew away from the tee. All right, next one. This is a closer up image here. What we've got here is we've got Grégory Gaultier about to make contact with the ball. I've got no idea where it's going. You've got no idea where it's going. Nick might have some idea because he's paying a lot of attention, and obviously Gregory does. But again, notice the preparation. It's almost 90 degrees everything. His forearm, okay, let's start again. His wrist is cocked at 90 degrees. His forearm to his elbow, or his upper arm, is almost 90 degrees, and his upper arm to his shoulder is almost 90 degrees. This gives him plenty of mobility and plenty of power. Now, he's cocked his wrist, he's got his left hand underneath, he's about to move his hand out of the way. Could be a cut, could be a boast, could be a cross court, we don't know. But again, Nick Matthew is focused on the ball and he's going to be watching the point of contact because that will tell him everything. All right, now, here we go. This is a sort of further back. And what we've got is we've got Gregory, who has either played a shot from a bounce or more likely from a volley. He's straight leg again because he's coming backwards. This is how he's moving back. I mentioned that earlier he was a little bit close to the ball, but in this case I don't think he was. I think he's hit the ball and started to move back. Notice the racket position. He's very high and he's got a cocked wrist again. He's watching the ball, he's turned his shoulders and he's hit the ball and he's moving back to the tee. He's forcing Nick Matthew to go behind him so that he has the shortest movement to the tee possible. Now this is coming back down the wall. I'm convinced of that because it looks like Nick is about to work his way into that back corner. Now, if it was anybody but Grégory Gaultier, I would be criticising this. I would be, saying, look, this is a terrible position. But Gregory does use his right foot a lot more than other people, but he's damn good at it. And what you'll notice here is that he's balanced. His left foot is not on the ground, but his right foot is very solidly placed. I know it looks like his heel has come up, but he's very well balanced. In this position, he can hit the ball in any direction that he wants to. Most players can't. Now, when I say most players, this is one of the examples of when watching professionals is not necessarily good for club players. Club players should try to do things as perfectly as possible. You don't spend 5 or 6 hours on court. You don't have the wrist strength. You are not a professional. So this is bad for you, but it's fine for him. And in fact, let's just watch a very quick clip from the final of him hitting the ball in a very similar situation, but look at it go down the wall. Look at how tight he keeps it from a very unorthodox position. You and I can't do that. A lot of professional players can't do that, but he can. So this is one of those times that, okay, he does it, but I wouldn't necessarily try and emulate it. Quick look at Nick. He's on the tee. He's far enough forward that if it were to be a drop, he could get there. If it goes to the back, he can cover it. He's moving down the wall. This has definitely gone back down the wall, and he's going to do his best to get there, and I'm sure he does. All right, side view. I love the side view. I absolutely love side views. We see much more movement, the forward-back movement, than we would ever see. We see great angles. I often try and, I used to, I haven't been to a professional squash match in 20 years, but I always used to get to the side if I could. I just loved it. Anyway, what we got here? Well, we've got Nick in an absolute fantastically dynamic position. He's about to make contact with the ball. His left hand is balanced, his grip. Don't worry so much about his wrist. He has a slightly different wrist. Again, one of the things that are difficult to emulate. It's the way he plays. In general, I'd be recommending all my club players to have a cocked wrist. If this was a normal player, this wouldn't necessarily be a great shot. He's making contact behind the centre of his body, and he's going to have to use a lot of wrist. This racket is moving very quickly. We can't see it here because it's obviously a very fast exposure, but it's moving very, very quickly. He's going to hit it, I don't know where, probably down the wall, but he could hit it anywhere he wants to. But he's balanced, he's stretching. Once he's hit this ball, look where his left leg is. It's not that far from the tee, and he's going to just move back, and he's going to be on the tee straight away. Gregory is on the tee. He's about to do his split step, or his tee jump as I like to call it, and give himself the bounce, the momentum to move forward. But I just love this photograph. He's so well balanced. All right, now we're going to just finish with this last one. We're finishing with this last one because I find it really funny. And I know that all photographs, when you take photographs, I mean, we all look silly when we have some photographs. But this one looks so funny to me because it looks almost like it's staged, because you've got Nick and he's like, his legs are straight, his heels are on the ground, he's sort of leaning forward, his racket's touching the ground. It's like the worst thing you can do. And then if we have a quick look at Grégory Gaultier, it looks like he's balancing. It looks like he's doing some kind of yoga pose. Now, obviously it's not. It's obviously a dynamic shot, and this is a real point. But I just think that this is so funny because it's not. It's kind of like not the things that you want to do. But that's what happens if you were to take photographs of your own match or my matches. You know, we'd be in these strange positions. But anyway, I thought this was funny. So there we go. This is the photo coaching video. This was the men's open final between Grégory Gaultier and Nick Matthew in 2017. Grégory Gaultier won. I think it was 3-1. And I'd like to thank SquashSite for allowing me to use their photographs. A link for them and the complete collection of the photographs is in the video description. I hope you found this useful. I'll be trying to do more of these where we look at one particular match, but I might go back to the occasional one photo and analyse that in more depth. I haven't done the blurring out here because I didn't feel it was necessary, and I didn't really have enough time to do all of that in like 10 proper photographs. So that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you've got any comments, any things that you'd like me to change, any things that you'd like me to add. And remember, do something every single day for your squash. See ya.